Yo, what's good, everybody? Today is August the 27th, 2024. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for another opportunity of prayer. Thank you, God, just for another chance to come humbly before your throne room of grace, oh God. We ask you, God, that you will bless our conversation, oh God. We ask you, God, that you will bless those that are going throughout the country, oh God. I ask you, God, that you would look over all our children, as well as parents and teachers, principals, staff, and included as children go back to school on this year, oh God. We ask you, God, that you would keep them safe, keep them covered with your precious blood. We ask you, God, that you would just watch over them and let this be a joyous occasion from things, days of years of past and all the stuff that we've been going through. I ask you, God, that you would continue to just watch over all those that have been suffering with loss, whether it be loved ones or financial or physical house, due with the weather and the storms and whatnot throughout our country and our nation. We ask God that you would just be a comforter and a keeper during this time, oh God. And specifically, God, I ask God that you would comfort the White family as they lay to rest the late Bishop Richard White, Mr. Clean White, on this evening and services tomorrow as well, oh God. I ask God that you will look over Miss Juanita, Mother Juanita White, as well as Gilbert, all the nieces, nephews, and children of Bishop White and all his members as well, oh God. And we ask God that you will bless our viewers as well as their families in the process. We ask all these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Let me know where y'all streaming in from. I see y'all tuning in early tonight. Let me know what platform y'all watching on. I didn't even get my banner ready. I'm tripping tonight. Okay, I got live up there already. I want to say happy born day to everyone that celebrated over this past week. There's been many. Uh, I didn't write them down again this week. I promise y'all I'm gonna get back on my square soon. But happy born day in particular to my big bro Michael Tucker. He celebrated on Sunday. Debbie Wilson on today. Miss Pam, Westside High, who celebrated on today as well, and everybody else that's celebrated over the course of this previous week. And congratulations to everyone that's celebrating milestone anniversaries, whether it be wedding, whether it be relationships, whether it be jobs, everybody. Like I said earlier in my prayer, I ask that you all will keep a special prayer in for our students as well as these teachers as they prepare to go back to school. We always heard that things going going growing up. Oh yeah, this here and that there. Y'all ain't have it like we had. We had to walk 15 miles to schools and all that. But I honestly feel like even though it's not the same to that degree, sometimes I do really believe that we don't understand what it is that our children face on a daily basis when they
Mm-hmm.
leave the walls of our homes, because it's a different era. Period.
Yeah.
So they face different obstacles than we ever faced. So let's really keep them prayed up as they venture out amongst us. And like I said, pray for these teachers, man, because these teachers are going through a lot, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the cities. And we're not even gonna get on that conversation, but let's keep everybody stayed up in prayer and you know as they go through their daily tasks and what have you. But with that being said, again, condolences to the White family um, who's celebrating the life of Bishop Richard, Mr. Clean White, on this evening. Like I said last week, a lot of you guys know some of his songs, some of you don't. But a lot of his songs minister over the years, and they're celebrating his life on a service tonight, and then they'll be having another funeral service, homegoing service on tomorrow. So let's keep that prayer and family, because that's one thing that most of us do believe in. Um, you know, Children are supposed to bury their parents, not the other way around. So, my special condolences go out to Mother White, who's burying another one of her children. Um, thank God for allowing her to still be here with us, but that's a pain that I wouldn't want to know or understand. So, let's keep her lifted in our prayers as well. Um, we're gonna jump on in the back into the conversation again. We got the co-hosts with the mostest with us again, Miss LyAshia. Where we gonna pick up right where we left off last week, but then um, of course, my man, my big bro, he was in the comments heavy last week, and
Heavy.
I kind of called him out. I was like, "Yo, I need to see you on camera next week, Wayne." I reached
Well, I'm
out,
here. How's everybody doing today?
yeah,
Good.
man. So I want to say what's up to my man, Big Five. And then we'll have somebody else join us a little bit later on.
You're very low. How do I make it louder?
I don't know. I guess wherever the volume button at.
No, I mean, okay. I did that part, but you still very low. I mean, I got everything all the way up.
Can you hear me good, La?
Yeah.
What about y'all, the viewers out there? Cause I don't know what it is, Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, that might work too. Going out and coming back in.
Okay, so can I eat some fruit while we?
Oh, you can do you.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care. I ain't gonna have no jokes for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Thank you. Viewers, don't please. Thank you. Okay, just the mom trying to eat.
I'm mad that you said that now because I wish I had to grab my pineapples. I went and got me some pineapples before the show started, so I can have after the show. But I'll wait till after the show is over. I got my fresh water with me right now.
I got my watermelon.
I can. But yeah, last week where we left off at, hey, what's good, Noel?
Hi, Noel.
Now you loud. There you go.
What'd you say? Is one or the other, huh?
Yeah, I'll take that. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. And again, hello to all, and hope everybody's having a good night.
Yeah, Noel said, "What's up, Fi?"
Hey, Noel, how you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah. Hey, so let's get into that before the show even starts. Do I need to refer to you as Big Fi or Wade?
It depends on the conversation.
It's like with people that I be really like having a relationship with, it'd be hard to decipher the two between sometimes the government versus the name that I know. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what we're talking about. But being that I got my uniform on, it ain't no need to try to sell another name. So I'm gonna be Wayne tonight.
All right, bet. That's what's up. But we gonna do what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up where we left off at last week, and I put out there for the viewers the pre-show. Now we gonna pick up that conversation. Also, Big Fi asked us a question before we got up out of here last week. Wayne, rather, he asked us a question last week. What should we be teaching our children to believe in? So I want to hit on that before we get up out of here too, as well. But picking up with the love conversation. Okay, so just for the setup, I made the statement that if I do not show you that I love you the way that you feel like you need or want to be loved, does that mean that I don't love you? And I said, absolutely not. I have different opinions, and we're gonna pick up from there, and we're gonna let Wayne give his answer as well.
See, I feel like this is a setup because there should be another woman on this stage.
She's coming. She definitely coming.
Sis is letting me down already.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's just about opinion. But I do want to say, you guys were throwing us off last week because y'all can't stay on one topic. Y'all just kept jumping around last week.
Listen, I was following the host, okay? You got follow the host.
Until you got questioned about why the entire show you ended up saying the same thing that Marv was saying.
No, but I didn't.
You kind of did.
And I really hope Mitch gets on here because Mitch understood what I was saying. Unfortunately, y'all didn't.
He was trying to help you. That's all he was doing. He was just trying to help you.
Me and Mitch had a whole other dialogue after the show was over.
So let's see, Marv. Being that you put the topic out there, who should start with their opinion?
You go first because we already heard me and her. So we let you start off and then like give us more time to get a woman in.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
Noel, what's the topic again? Real quick, Noel. The topic is if I do not show you. Then we're talking about both parenting and relationship wise, which are two totally different things. Okay, but the main topic is if I don't show you that I love you the way that you feel like you need or want to be loved, does that mean that I do not love you?
Jump in the comments, Noel.
All right, you go ahead, Wayne.
Now, I mean, the way I took that question is we're just talking about how I feel about you, not about how you feel about me. Mm-hmm. And I was using different scenarios. I'm like, you have people out here who gold diggers, who whip people just for what they could get out of them or whatever. That person that's being taken advantage of truly loves the other person. but that person that they love don't love them because they're not, for whatever reason, like she just said, they're not giving me what I want. Doesn't mean the other person don't truly love you. I don't think you can control how another person feels, no matter what they're doing for you or what the situation is. They still love you. You can't say you don't love me because you're not buying me a new car. That makes no sense. That was my opinion.
My opinion was there is a difference, a very huge difference between want and need. You all keep saying, love me the way I want to be loved.
I had both. For correction, I had both.
I need you to love me like this. Like,
wait. Did we just change the question?
Absolutely not.
Was it need or was it want?
What I said was, you all keep saying want like it's optional, right?
Right.
If I'm telling you I need to be loved this way, it's a need. It's not a want. And I think for me, that's where the issue starts. That's where the difference starts. It's not a want. A want, yes, I want a new car, but I already have one in the driveway. I want a new house, but I already have one that I live in. I want a new pair of shoes. I have 10 in the closet. So I don't really need it. I just want it.
So the comments last week was saying, if you're not giving me, I think we were saying want, because it was like, if a person is not giving me what I want, then they don't love me.
What I was saying was both. I put both of them there in the same, and I explained, because I remember specifically explaining last week that needs and wants are two totally different things. So I just, to cover all bases, I worded it together: need and or want.
Okay, so you you're right. They're totally different. I agree.
You can't throw that all in one pot.
All right, so
I need a pair of shoes.
And I'm glad you're saying that, because that's where you guys were throwing everybody off in the group last week. I was like, y'all all over the place. Need and want is two different things. I don't even know how you can say you don't love me because you don't give me what I want. That doesn't even make any sense.
Exactly. So we're going to strictly stick with you.
Agree. We can agree right there. But that is what I was saying last week. I want a new pair of shoes. I want this. I don't need it though. I need to be loved in this way. And how can you tell me you love me if I'm telling you I need you to love me like this, but you're basically saying, well, no, I don't want to love you like that. I want to love you. And I tell you I need quality time. Well, I don't really want to love you with quality time. I want to love you with gifts. That does nothing for me. It does nothing for, it's not a need. A gift is not a need.
Now you're switching it. You're going back to how it makes you feel. But the topic is, does the person still love you?
Correct. Okay.
They do.
No, my answer is no, because how can you love me when I'm telling you what I need and you're selfishly choosing not to give it to me?
Wow.
All right. So to my point, because that's exactly what I was saying. It wasn't the variations of. I was just saying. So to me, like, what by your definition, what that is, that's like you telling me how I feel or how I think. You can't do that to someone. Just because I don't give it to you the way that you need, not want, but need, does not mean that I don't love you. I may be incapable of showing you the way that you need to be loved, but it doesn't mean that I don't love you.
But
doesn't mean I don't love you.
Women have said, if you say you love me, then you will learn how to love me the way I need to be loved.
No.
I don't agree with that.
No.
I don't agree with that.
No.
I can make an effort for it, but I might not ever get it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I love you, but now I have to cater to things that I may not even be interested in or don't even like for you to be happy. That doesn't change whether I still love you or not.
That's sacrifice. That's
no.
What the relationship is built off of.
Absolutely not.
Don't argue with the person. This is part B to this question, because Wayne is going to make sure we know that this is not the original question. So part B to that question is, okay, if you can't love the person the way they need to be loved, or you
shouldn't be in it. That's a different question. Let it go. You're absolutely right.
I told you. I know it's a different question. If you cannot provide a need to your partner or have no desire to learn how to provide this need, then why are you?
Why are you adding those extra words? Where does no desire? We're talking about
you literally just said.
We were talking about a general topic of just, are the feelings that I have for you real, even though I'm not making you happy?
I'm gonna say
my
no,
feelings are still real. You're not happy, so you're not loving me back. But my feelings for love are real, no matter whether I'm making you happy or not.
Love. Do you love the person?
Yes.
What I'm gonna stand 10 toes on is how can you say you love me? How can you say you love me when you are selfishly choosing not to either A, learn how to meet the need, or desire to meet if you have a desire to meet the need, you're gonna learn how to meet it, period. How can you say you love me with no desire to learn how to properly love me?
No one ever said that. I don't know how to answer that. We never got to that part of, okay, now you love me, so but you're not doing what you need. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about initially, can you honestly say you love me even though that person is not doing what you're saying you need? I still love you. Even though I'm not, I got to work on it. I got to do whatever. I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether we're going to stay together, whether we're going to grow together. Say what?
Marvin Noel says she need to be in. Bring her on. Go ahead.
Noel chiming on?
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm about to send her the link now. Todd, what's good, Todd? Todd said, I agree with the fellas. Sometimes you have to learn to meet the need. And that's the point that I was making. Even though you said
I agree with that.
And I agree with that. If I'm not willing to,
now you're going into whether you want the relationship to be successful or not. That's not where we I agree with everybody saying that part. It's just that the initial question wasn't that far along. It was just, do I love you? I do truly love you. Absolutely. Now I got to work on keeping us together or making this love real or making this relationship something. But do I love you? Yeah. Whether you happy or not, I still love you.
Or you feel like I'm not meeting your needs. It does not change the fact that I love you.
There's some people out here in relationships that's been in relationships for years and never make the other person happy. Does it mean that the one person doesn't truly love the other? I think so. I think they can.
Okay, pause, Wayne. Are you bringing Noel on the stage?
Yeah.
She begging for somebody.
Y'all, I already knew without a woman on.
I keep telling you, we're not going to double team, yo.
But this is not a double team. This is not. The only thing we're trying to do is set a level of the conversation. Are we saying just, do I love you even though you're not happy, or whether or not we can be successful together? That's another level.
It had nothing to do with if you're not happy. It was if
you said if a person really love you, they will do what they have to do to make you happy. Why would a person do that?
I said to meet the need.
Okay.
To meet your need.
Same thing. You just being technical. You're being technical, but it don't change the conversation. But why would I do that? Why would I do that? Not to love you. I would do that to be with you, not to love you.
If you love a person, do you not put in the work to meet the need?
Yes. But sometimes you are incapable of putting in the work that you
And that's what we're trying to say. That's what we're trying to say. You may not never meet the need, but does it mean that I don't love you? No, it doesn't mean that. That's what we're saying. Now go ahead and reword that. Go ahead and reword it.
I'm not going to reword it. I disagree with it.
So so hold on. Let me ask you this. I may never meet your need. So that means I don't love you?
That's what I said last week. Oh, no. Hi, Noel.
Hey, y'all.
What up?
Hey, Noel.
Noel.
Chime in, girl. They double team.
Look, y'all got me with my I'm about to go to work in 2 hours space. I work at home, so.
Well, we've been knowing you for 30 years. What are you worried about?
Nothing, because at the end of the day, she constantly cute.
Daddy, you all right.
You already know that. Yeah, exactly.
Noel, are you if I don't meet your need, does it mean I don't love you?
No, it does not mean that you don't love me.
Thank you.
And I say that
you want another girl to get on?
I say that because one, it's two different things. It's loving somebody and it's being happy. Yeah. If you're not happy, you don't need to be in that relationship.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but I didn't say happy. I said meeting a need. Wayne brought in happy.
So now, I feel like, and I've learned this over the years, if you have a man that loves you, you're going to get that man how he come. You got to accept him how he come. If like I'm in a relationship right now, and we had to talk about in the beginning what we both need or like or what we prefer when we're in a relationship. Some people really cannot give you what you need because they don't know how. And then if they don't know how and you're unhappy or it is something that you need, it's a deal breaker, let it go. That's how I feel. You gotta let it go.
I agree 100%.
But I feel that there's no way that somebody can love another person the way they need to be loved because nobody's a mind reader.
You communicated your needs to your partner,
right?
Because that's what I said last week. I didn't say anything about mind reading. I said if you have shared your needs with your partner, because if you don't share your needs with your partner, of course they can't meet them. You're 100% correct. But if you shared your needs with your partner, let's keep it simple and say your love language, right? We'll keep it simple. If you share that with your partner and your partner puts in no effort to meet that need, I'm saying, how can you say you love me if you are not willing to meet something that you know I need?
Because you're incapable. I keep going back to that part.
So maybe they don't agree. Maybe they don't agree with what you're saying your need is, but they still love you. Maybe they can't meet the need, but they still love you.
Too stupid.
So if you could give me an example of a need.
Okay, so that's what I was about to go. So you want to talk if we talking love languages, right?
Let's say quality time.
Let's
actual service.
So let's like you said, let's do if we're gonna do love language, let's do quality time. But because of our financial situation, I have to work a full-time job and a part-time job. So therefore, I don't really have much time if I'm working 6-7 days a week. If I don't really have that much time to give you quality time. That does not negate the fact that I love you. I just incapable of showing you that I love you the way that you feel you need to be loved because I don't have extra time outside of work. I can't afford to take off work to give you quality time. But that does not negate the fact that I do love you.
Okay. I don't agree with that.
So what we gonna do? We gonna sit in the empty house, sit in the house without the lights.
No, I didn't say that. But it goes back to my point. It goes back to my point that I said last week. Again, and I will stand 10 toes on this. If you, Miss, are you saying he's not trying to meet your need? Who is he? Are you talking about a specific person or just in general?
No, he's just talking about the scenario, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In general, if I tell you my need, this is what I need. And if you're I believe being incapable of doing something and choosing not to do something, because you have a way of wrapping all of that in, I think those are two different things. If you're incapable, what are we even in relationship with? I'll know that. I'll see their red flag. You're incapable. There's no.
But you're switching where the emotion is coming from. The conversation is, do I love you? It's not about how you feel. It's not about none of that. It's about, do I love you? Whether you're happy, whether I'm getting you what you need, I still love you.
Love me. No, you're not going to change my mind on that.
I'm not trying. I see that it's not about changing your mind. You can have whatever opinion you want. We're all up here just voicing our opinion. I just think that you can't control the emotion of another person.
You're right.
No matter how you feel. There are people in relationships, for example, you have people out here that's taking advantage of other people, right? The person being taken advantage of is allowing it because they truly love them. And at some point they figure they're going to get it right. He going to stop hitting me. He going to stop taking my money. He going to stop whatever he doing, or she. Mm-hmm. They truly love him, but the other person is doing those things because they're not happy. They don't really value the relationship or whatever. But does the one truly love the other? Yes. Yes.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So it's just about what my main focus is, that one person, the one who has the love, who has those feelings. No matter what you do or say, it's not going to change how I feel about you. I still love you.
Even though I'm incapable of showing you the way you feel you need to be loved, it does not take away my love for you.
How I feel about you. There's some people you've heard conversations, you probably had them, where you said to one of your girlfriend's, girls, I don't know how you do it. And she just said, I love them.
I've heard that.
And that's where that's coming from. That person is not good for them. That person is not doing nothing for them, not meeting any of their needs or any of their wants. But you know what? In here, they love them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, you cannot tell me how I feel about you. You said that comment, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you cannot tell me that I don't love you. You can't tell me that I feel loved.
Nobody ever said that. That's not even part of the conversation.
That's a whole different
part of the conversation because you're
no, it's not. Now you deflecting. You deflecting again.
Like I said, I made my opinion and I'm gonna stand on it. My answer is no.
But your opinion is not based off the question. You're changing it.
Absolutely not.
You just said now how you feel. We back over here. How I feel. So it's not about how you feel.
You can tell me. You can say I love you, and you can't tell me I don't, even if I don't meet your needs. But I can't say you can't tell me that I feel loved.
That's a different question. That's a different show. Marv doing that one next week. You got to come back next week.
So you can't tell me that I'm loved. Let's take the feel word out of it. You can't tell me that I'm loved based on how you respond or how you're acting, just like I can't tell you love me based on how you act. Because essentially that's what
to honestly answer that question, if you're not getting what you want and they're not making you feel a certain type of way, I understand why you would say you're not loved and you don't feel it. I do understand that, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're saying is, can the person that's in love truly be in love even if they're not doing the things that you want? And we're just saying, I'm not going to speak for Noel or Marv. I'm saying, you can't tell me I don't love you, even if I'm not giving you what you want, even if I'm not making you feel warm and fuzzy. Girl, I love you. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. Because like I said, it's two part and it's two totally different things. But even when you go back to the parent thing, right? One thing that I always do is I love watching the Hall of Fame induction since I was like 11, 12 years old. And it always fascinated how we look at all these football players, linebackers, defensive backs, all these guys that we consider to be tough. One of the things that they usually do in their speech, though, is they break down and say, you know what? I never heard my father say that he loves me. But the way that his father got him and went to work every single day was tough on him, set all those boundaries to push him to be great, even if it cost a personal relationship. That's showing me that I love you, whether I ever say it or not. I love you. I'm just not showing you the way that I need to be loved, that you need to be loved. But it does not change the fact that I love you. And that goes for relationships or parent and child.
And now that was a good way to put that. And that's why I was telling y'all last week, it was getting a little bit confusing. You guys put a scenario together where a parent or parents sent their child away for a better life. You're going to go stay with your uncle. You're going to go stay with your aunt. They got more money. They got a big house, better schools. I'm struggling. You can go stay with them. And then you guys said, now, how does that kid feel? That kid feel, I'm not loved. Mm-hmm. You don't care about me because you let me go.
How could you give me up?
Does that mean the parent didn't love him?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's not a scenario I present. And I think somebody in the comments, Mitch, said that that's two different. You cannot compare parenting and relationship.
It's about feelings, love and feelings.
things. But
love is a feeling.
Is exactly the general theme
Love
is
is an
I
action.
love you. Period. Like whether even though relationships and parent versus child are two different types of love, the main focus is I love you, even if I don't show you the way that you feel like you need it. Go ahead, Noel, make that point that you was going to make because you said that you did that, right?
Yeah. So my son in like 3rd or 4th grade was like labeled autistic, ADHD, whatever, problem in the class, this, that, and the third. So I could have got a check if I didn't care. I could have got a check off of him or whatever. But I didn't want him to be labeled, so I sent him down to Atlanta and I paid for him to go to a private school and he stayed with my mother. But I mean, he know I love him, and he know now as an adult that I did that because I loved him. Like
during that time, how did he feel about that? During the time when it actually happened, did he feel like that you loved him at that time?
Absolutely, because I sat him down and I explained to him what was going on, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm keeping your sister, I don't want you. And I told him, you need to go to a different school, and it was, I'm coming down to visit, I'm sending you money, I'm still doing parenting things, and I just had to have a talk with him. But to this day, now he understands and he appreciates that I did that, because when kids are labeled, that's a hard life. And I knew that he didn't need to be labeled. He just needed to be in a different environment that could, attend to his specific needs.
Okay. And you got to look at how outside influences could have totally changed the emotion of what happened. Social media. Just imagine your child on there. Now he see you at a party, or he see you, enjoying yourself. Yeah. Just say maybe he went to whatever family member's house and it wasn't warm as comfy as you might have thought, and he's sitting there, he's pondering on that, and everything could have totally changed. That love, hate, whether this was the best decision. Emotions is funny. Yeah. And you can't really control it. It's you do your best, you try your best, and you pray and have faith in the best. You can't totally control how people feel. And that's going. I'm only saying that to go back to what the young lady is so strongly opinionated about. You can't control how another person feel. I may not look the way you want to look. You may not even be interested in me, but there's people walking around here in love with people that have no interest in them at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And that's all we're trying to say.
That's where we get problematic and get in trouble is, like I said, I think we looked at things through our lens so much that, you can't love me because if you did love me, you would do X, Y, and Z, or you would give me what I need and this and that there. But it doesn't, that's all internal. And one thing I always try to tell people is I can't help you with internal problems. You know what I mean? I can help talk and I can talk to you and all that there, but I can't help you with an issue that you have with yourself. I don't care how much I tell you that you're not fat if you're 5'2" and 96 pounds, but you're bulimic. If you see yourself as fat, that's an internal problem. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how many of us tell you that you're not overweight, you look good. If you don't see yourself that way, if you see a fat girl when you look in the mirror, that's an internal problem. And I think so many times we do that the same thing in this conversation when we're talking about love, whether you care for me, even if it's not love, whether you care for me. If you really cared about me, you would do this. If you really did, no, I do care for you, but sometimes we are incapable of giving you what you feel like you need or displaying it.
And the most of the time when you hear people using that phrase, you would do it if you cared about, they being sarcastic or they're using it in the wrong aspect.
Well, saying it that way is manipulative.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Man said last week. I mean, Amar, he said that in the comments last week. He's like, it's a big form of manipulation when people word it like that.
I think what happened here is maybe we just didn't go as much into detail as to how we were really feeling about the question, because I was trying to comment, and unfortunately, you may see a comment and you guys are already on two more statements after, you know. So when the young lady was reading my comments last week, she was like, what is Wayne talking about? He's all over, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So I think this was needed just for everybody to clearly speak on how they feel. But that love thing, I don't care what you say. If it fall on me and I'm in there and I fall and it is. I don't care what you say.
Mm-hmm. Because again, you can't tell me how I feel.
And that's all that's all we was trying to say.
A person can't tell you guys how you feel, just like a person can't tell me how I feel regarding this whole topic. Like, I just don't agree with it.
And I agree with that 100%. But the point of the whole conversation was, just because you don't agree with it or just because you don't feel that I love you does not change the fact that I do love you.
It's not a fact.
That's all I was saying.
Is it a fact?
Yes, that's a fact. If my reality and my truth is that I love you, even if I don't give you what you need, I don't show it, I don't display it, and you 100% accurate in not feeling it because you don't feel it, because that's a you issue. But it does not change how I feel about you or that the fact that I love you.
Okay.
That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Now you absolutely, I'm with you 100%. You have the right to feel that I don't love you, but it does not change my perspective that I do love you.
And I think that's an important word to put in there, perspective.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're saying basically, in your perspective, if a person truly loves me, they'll make me feel it in some type of way, whether they're meeting my needs or my wants. But if I don't feel it, then they can't truly love me. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's for you. But I think, and it's just a coincidence that the other three, or pretty much everybody that was in this conversation,
actually, people from last week who aren't here agreed with me.
No, they just wanted y'all to stop talking about it and talk about something else.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
And I'm sorry, I didn't get the young lady's name up in the corner. I'm
sorry.
LyAshia.
You could call me
LyAshia. You don't know my name either. How you doing?
Hey, Wayne.
Oh, you do know my name. Oh, okay.
Wayne, stop it. We go way back. But so my question is to a young lady, La. Have you been in a relationship where you felt as though you weren't getting the love, or the person wasn't loving you the way you needed to be loved? And what did you do about it?
Well, I've been married for the last almost 20 years. So I was about to say, because I don't know that I feel comfortable answering that, because I have not been in multiple relationships and I don't want to put my business in the streets.
So your husband,
you on a podcast?
The way you
but still,
when somebody asks you a question about love, you say, "I don't want to put my business in the street."
that specific question, no, because it would have to pertain. It would be pertaining to my marriage, because that's the only relationship I've known for the last 20 years.
I can respect that.
Respect. I'm just making the podcast. The reason why Mara brought me up here, just to make it exciting a little bit. I mean, I think we all pretty much got to an understanding on where we are with this topic, whether we agree or disagree. It's healthy to have different opinions on, because it's life. And how we move through life and how we believe in things and how we feel, everybody is different, you know. The young lady's not going to change how she feels about that. I'm not going to change how I feel. I mean, it is, but there's some people who's just looking at us talking right now, and they probably have a whole different opinion. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell you, like, I had a previous relationship and it wasn't good at all. It was not good. And so getting out of that relationship, I was single for like 3 years. So right now, the relationship that I have now, I'm being loved. I can say it's not
shout out
the
storm. Shout out the storm.
God still answers prayers.
So I can't say like, oh, he don't love me the way I need to be loved, the way I want to be loved. What I do know is that he loves me, and he loves me in a space. And I tell people this: he loves me in a space that I've never been in before. So it's more like a grateful, thankful, appreciative thing versus me saying, "You not love me the way I need to be loved," because I don't know.
So let me ask you this: how do you determine, or how can you say he loves you if you don't know what your need? Like, because you said I can't say he's loving me the way I need or want to be loved. I just know he loves me, and I'm not saying he does not. Okay, let's be clear before Wayne jumps through the screen on me. Okay, I'm not saying he does not, but I'm asking you, how do you know that?
So I know because one, he works out of state. So where somebody might think that we see each other.
Let me answer why he love her. Can I answer why he love her?
No, you cannot, because you're not him or her.
But I think I may answer the question for her.
Let's see.
I've been knowing both of them for more than 30 years.
Oh, okay. Then you have a different.
And I know both of them personally.
Okay.
And the way that he's looking at her, things he's doing, working out of state, he loved her from his actions.
Yeah. Because
he's different with her than he is with the rest of the world. He's a different person.
Quality time thing. And then, we had a conversation and he was like, we FaceTime. Like, since we have been together, there has not been a day that I have not talked to him or seen his face. So it's like FaceTime. We could just sit on FaceTime, watching the movie, he playing video games. It's quality time.
Is that your need? What is your love language?
My love language is acts of service. Like, I'm always doing something. And I can say his love language, he's got so many different love languages. He's like all over the place. So for me, it's not about the love language. It's about compatibility. It's about how he treats me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you being a female, but you've been in a relationship, but being in a relationship, somebody can give you who they want you to think they are the first 6 months, and then after that they completely turn into a monster.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
He's the same every day, and it's like I can't, like Wayne was right. I just know.
I know because but let me try to put this in a different scenario. Love is a feeling. Love is a feeling, right? It's not always associated to relationships. I love Marv.
Yeah.
Been knowing Marv for 40 years. I love him. Right? Where does need and want come in, whether I love him or not?
See, we were not talking about friends.
Right. Right. What's the difference? We're talking about love. We're talking about love and a feeling, not about relationships, not about man or woman. We just said love. Yeah. How can Marv say, I love him? I ain't doing nothing for him. I ain't meeting none of his needs all at once. I love him, and he know I love him.
And that's why every time that I asked the question,
we weren't talking about friendship love last week. We weren't talking about friendship.
We weren't talking about relationships at all. We were talking about can a person. You said can a person love another person?
We were talking about relational.
Because,
last week, even in the comments, when Marv brought up parenting,
that's why I said I made the statement talking about parent
relationship. Relational. It's not the same as relational. You can't compare.
It didn't start out like that. I'm glad you said that, because that's why I said it was getting side. It was turning into something else, because the conversation didn't start out talking about relationship or talking about parenting. It started out just saying, can you love someone?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be me and Marv or you and Noel, even if you don't feel like they do. I still love you.
Yeah. And I think that's where we got off base, because that's the way you interpreted my question as far as relationships. I was talking about the word love, period. I just use relationships, parenting, all that did. I was specifically talking about love, period, though.
Right. That's what we said. We're talking about just the feeling of love. You can't tell me I don't love you no matter what parameters you put about around it. You can't tell me I don't love you.
And that's the only point that I was making. Because think about how many times
relationally. That's why when you were bringing up parental, again, myself as well as other viewers said you can't put those two in the same.
Now I gotta give her that. I gotta give her that, Mark, because that's what happened. And that's why if you go back, she read my comment. I said you guys are all over the place. You were talking about parenting. Now you're talking about relationships. That's different conversations. And that's why it got messed up.
The brutal point that I was talking about the word love, period, is that when we say that we was going to do the show, what did I tell you? We was going to talk about Bel-Air and the whole sending the child out. So he wasn't talking about relationships. I was just talking about love.
I was with you. I was with you. It was whoever that guest you had on last week. She wasn't with you.
Really? Really? Well, myself as well as other viewers weren't with you then.
No, I will not give you other viewers. One person was trying to help you.
Oh, you talked to him?
No, I read Mitch's comment.
Okay, so you're making an assumption that he was trying to help.
No, but I did talk to Mitch after the show, and once he said what it was he jumped on late, so he caught the end of it. But when I told him what the premise was, he was like, "Okay, now I see exactly where you were coming from." And he wasn't
wrong too,
or whatever. It was just like, okay, now I see. Now I got a better understanding of what it is that I came in on.
He came in on the part where it got convoluted between relational and parenting. That's the part that he came in.
How did it get there?
That changed the whole conversation. I totally agree with that. Yes.
But how did we get there? Because that's where you took it, Ly. Initially, we was talking about Bel-Air.
I don't know that I necessarily took it there. I think the conversation just went there, and I went with relational. I will give you that.
Yeah.
And so we kind of split where you start talking about parenting, and I was still on the relational side of love. And I don't think.
But that's what I'm saying. The whole conversation started because we was talking about parents moving them out there.
Absolutely.
And somebody feel like they taking over that place. She didn't feel like she was loved anymore. So that's where the whole love conversation came in.
100%. I agree with that. But if you go back and listen to it, relationships came into play. So we're not gonna make it like I just randomly said
no.
Relationships
came into play. Parenting came into the conversation, which changed the whole conversation. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Yes.
So Drew asked the question. You said, how can you define a person's love for you? This is for everyone. All right. So before we get to that answer, though, to prove my point, and that we're not gonna keep going back and forth on it, but this is the point. Everybody on this panel, everybody that's viewing, we all know people that say, you know what? They really love each other, but they don't need to be together. Is that a scenario? We all know people that love each other relationship-wise, but they don't necessarily need to be together. But it does not change the fact that they love each other.
Yeah, there's toxic relationships, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you this. I got some friends that talk to their significant other, you black MF, oh shut the F up, like, and get crazy back and forth like all day.
And you don't feel like that's love. But for them,
they laying up.
I didn't feel like that's love. I ended up meaning a need. I ain't say nothing about what you talking about. There can be real toxic relationships but that from the outside looking in, we'll say that's real toxic. That's real this, that's real that. But we don't know what's going on at home. They could be toxic, you stupid mother effer, but at the end of the day, are they still meeting this person's need? To us, it's like, why would you take that from this person?
Right, and see, to me, it's crazy because I just can't even get past, how can you call your significant other a stupid?
I agree.
Whatever.
I agree.
Get back the sexy time. You know what I mean? Like, how do you even...
That's what works for them.
And
right. And so that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying, there are people you could look at and say they probably shouldn't be together, but they love each other.
They love each other. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it through life. We've had people in the street, out there running, getting high, doing whatever, straight toxic. She's stealing that way, he's stealing that way. Just, but when they get together,
yeah,
and don't mess with one, and don't think the other one not coming.
So, I'm gonna let you answer the Jew question first. How can you define a person's love for you? This is for everyone. How can you define a person's love if a person loves you?
For me, again, it goes back to what I said at the top of the hour. If you know your person has a need and you're willing to work to meet that need, but I don't feel like you can necessarily box in or define a person's love, but I feel like that's how, for me, that's how a person shows me that they love me. If you know I have a need, a partner, if you know I have a need, and to kind of answer her question a little bit, my husband, there has been times where my husband knows my needs, right? And if he's not necessarily meeting my needs, but I know he knows them and he's working toward meeting my needs, that works for me as well. That for me.
I hate how that sounds. I totally.
Why you hate how that sounds?
Just the way it sounds, like just meeting my needs. He knows my needs. That just now. I didn't say you wrong. I did not. Before you go off, I did not say you wrong. I did not say I disagree with how you feel. That's you.
How it sounds. You did.
How it sounds. Because just if I was saying that as a man,
did I say meet each other's needs? It's reciprocal. It's not
there you go.
Not you better meet my need, but I don't care about your. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, that's the way it sounded. So that's why I made my comment.
That's not it. It's reciprocal. Okay. Meet each other. But the question was, how do you feel? So I was answering from my point of view. But it's reciprocal. I feel like love is absolute. Somebody said love is the action. That's what I said earlier. I feel like love is the action. It's love is just a continual action. And so it's
I agree with Nicole.
Yeah, but I said that at the top of the hour. Love is the action word. It's a verb. Like you got to play it out. You can't just say I love you. You got to show it. So it's reciprocal.
Love is a feeling.
Yeah. I think
now portray my love turns into an action. But you have to have it in here in order to form an action. The emotion of love is built internally. So it's a feeling, and it makes me want to do things, to act on it, to go get you some flowers, to make you breakfast in bed, to do whatever those things to show you that I love you. But it starts in here. It starts as a feeling inside. It's a feeling. Just like hate. Just like hate. Hate doesn't start as an action. Hate starts as a feeling, an emotion. And then you act on it.
What you saying?
I don't think either of us were saying that it's not a feeling per se, but love, you have to show love out, like you have to walk love out in action. So I'm not saying it doesn't start with the feeling, because you have to have more tingly feelings in order to know, oh, okay, it might be something developing here for this person. But what I was saying is that for me, love is the action word. You have to walk it out. You can't just say, I love you. Okay, show it. How do you show it? Walk it out. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not saying it wasn't not a feeling.
Wrong. We're just saying it from two different. I'm saying it as the person who has the love. You're saying it as the person who wants to feel the love.
Or even as the person who's giving the love. I have to, if I'm telling my spouse I love them, at some point, I'm going to have to walk it out. I'm going to have to show it in action.
You just got to some point. This is starting out with the initial feeling of I love you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I agree with Nicole. You got to saying it. You're absolutely right. At some point, you got to stop saying it. You love me, but you don't come in the house till 4 a.m. You love me, but the bills still ain't paid. At some point, you have to show some action to support the words. But the initial feeling is in here. I love you, and now what does that mean, and what do I do with it? That's the second part.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I was just responding to Nicole's point of
you're fine.
Action.
Fine. You're fine. I wasn't disputing that. You're fine.
And just for my clarity, so now we're back to not just love, but we were back to relationship love, correct?
Well, Nicole asked a relationship question, so she was answering it as the question was asked of her.
So to go back to my defining love, that's how I define love. Love for me is an action. Love is meeting the needs of each other, not one-sided type of I'm a taker, you give me, give, and I give you nothing. No. Love for me is action, is showing I know what your need is, and I'm willing to do what I need to do to meet your need from both sides.
All right. So again, the reason why I asked that was because before I answered it, again, I'm specifically talking about the word love, not just pertaining to relationship. I'm talking about overall love. Dwayne,
can we close out the relational? Because again, that's what I think happened last week. Parent, relationship, friendship. I don't believe you can throw them all in the same box.
Yeah. So for me, and I never was. I'm just talking about different scenarios, but I'm talking about the overall word of love. Dwayne said, "Yo, what's up, Tank?" Too. He said, "Love is sacrifice. The sacrifice is beyond you to meet the need of another, even when you do not necessarily agree or find it comfortable to do." And that's the point that I was making about the overall word with love, not just relationships, because we all know people that we love, but we don't necessarily need to talk to them every single day.
Right. It's like you love them. I love you. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I love you.
Yeah. I love you from a distance, but I'm not giving you what you need. I'm not giving you what you want, but it does not change the fact that I love you. Even if we don't talk, even if I don't show it, it does not mean that I don't love you.
He literally just said what I've been saying all night. Whoever this person is, literally is saying what I've been saying all night.
I ain't heard none of that.
That is not what you've been saying all night.
Okay, so let's see. Love is sacrifice. The sacrifice is getting beyond you to meet the need of another.
Have I not said that all night?
Do not necessarily agree or find it comfortable to do.
Have I not said that all night?
But
she has been saying that.
I'm gonna tell you what just happened. I'm gonna tell you what just happened. Tank just chimed in while we're talking about relationships. Mm-hmm. Tank was not here earlier when we broke down exactly what this question was about. He just heard you talking about love and your husband and your relationship. So he's absolutely right. And we've all said that. If we're talking about relationship, you are right. But we were just talking about love. And we've thrown out 20 different scenarios to break down what we're talking about. And you jump on, that's what I've been saying all night. No, it has not.
Yes, it is what I've been saying all night.
Because you've been talking about relationship all night. The question is not about relationship.
We have established that we went two different directions.
That's right. Tank wasn't here for that. So don't jump on. That's what you've been saying all night.
What I've been saying all night for 2 weeks about relationship love.
Okay.
Wait, okay, give me your name again in the corner. Not you, Wayne.
Noel
can attest to the fact that I have been saying this all night about relationship love.
She had you been saying that all night
last week. So I
Noel, have I been saying that all night?
And I chimed in, was like, what?
Noel, have I been saying what Tank said all night?
Yes.
Yes, I agree with that.
Now, but that's not what the topic was about. It wasn't about relationships. We established that. We saying that we went in two different ways. We went this way, and you went that way.
Correct.
Okay, there we go.
We all agree on that.
Now we all on the same page. We all on the same page.
There we go. There you go.
Before
I love you too, Tank.
Before you get out of here, Ly, let's talk about that a little bit, because like I said, I think Five raised a good question last week. What is it that we should be teaching our children to believe in? You know, we talked a little bit.
How y'all not gonna answer the question of how do you define love, or what? Wait, what was the question?
Oh, we did. Well, because again,
we did.
My answer, like I said, is the same thing, and that's the reason I made the thing that I was talking about. I wasn't talking about specifically relationships. I'm talking about the word love, period. And you can't tell me that I don't love you if I love you, whether I show you, whether I display it or not. Prime example with, like I said, friendships, family relationships. I still love family, but I don't necessarily talk to them. I don't call and check up on them, but they know I love them and I know that they love me. So it's not always about giving you what you need, as you say, but like I said, I was talking about the word love overall, not just relationship wise. I was just talking about that. So my love, how I define love is, how do you make me feel? How do I feel about you? You know what I mean? Whether I care about your well-being, whether I care about your safety, I have a vested interest in you. You know what I mean? Because I know Tank would attest to this, but like us that are believers, we are taught that, love thy neighbor. And one of the things that I was
did he just say we not believers? Did he just say that?
No, I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
I'm being the cold right now.
He said we as believers.
Yeah, yeah.
He said me and Tank. He said me and Tank can attest to this. Like, well, wait a minute, I done grew up with both of y'all. So
like we heathens.
Everybody is not a believer. I know Noel is a believer. I know Lie believer. I know you're a believer too, Wade, or you try to be, because you even talked about it on the previous show. Hey, how do you and I always, that's one of my favorite moments out of all the 4 years we've been doing this show, was when you asked me and Drew, he's like, yo, it's something different about, I know y'all all these years, it's something different about you guys, and we got to tell you what the difference was in our lives versus back in the day, and that was our love for God, you know what I mean, and how we've tapped into that. So a lot of times, like I say, love is more than just the action word. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes my love for you will have me pull back and remove myself from a situation and just be praying for you. Whether I talk to you every day or not, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your kids, or whatever, because I love you. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel it. You don't even know it. You don't know that I'm doing all of this, but it doesn't change the fact that I still love you, and I'm putting it into action by taking time out to pray for you, taking out time to think about you and your well-being and your family and whatnot there. So it's not, to me, it's not always about being reciprocated or being shown, so to speak, because it does not change my reality. Your perception of me is not my reality.
Love is a very tricky word where you got to be very specific on where we're going with the question of it.
Yeah,
because
and it's hard to define.
Love different depending on who that love is being portrayed to. Whether it's a friend, a family, relationship, it's a different meaning when it comes to the actions that's shown with it. And I think that's where we got thrown off. But I would like to ask my question again that I was able to get out there before we closed last week. Mm-hmm. And my question is, I've been having a lot of conversations with some mature people about the way this world is right now and the status of these kids and what resources are out there, social media, and all those things of that nature. When we came up, we had, in my opinion, there was a lot more Black mentors out there. Absolutely. There was more religion in the schools, more Black history. There was more respect in the household. There was a lot of more foundation to keep these kids grounded and kind of get them where we give them a better chance at a successful future. Now, in 2024, all I hear is living my best life, doing all kinds of drugs. Politics is out the world, the New World Order, the ozone layer. There's no religion. Black history is being erased from history. Where do these kids find their faith now?
That was the word faith. Yeah, not believe, but faith. Yeah, faith.
Where do these kids find their faith? I mean, Social Security is not even going to be there. I mean, we look forward to that when we were younger, but you don't have the Black man in the family in a lot of households now. Where are these kids finding faith? Where do they see a future when, I mean, we're having conversations now that in politics, they talking about it's going to be a war. There's no, kids don't go to church like they used to. I mean, church was mandated at some point in my life when I was younger. It wasn't an option. They taught Black history in school, where now they're saying the new curriculum for Black history is teaching Black kids how white people help them by teaching them trades. Yeah, that's not slavery. That's not what really happened. But that's what they're putting in these schools now. So now these new kids who's learning everything from social media and what they see on TV, what are they supposed to have faith in to keep them grounded and give them a better chance of being successful in life?
You want to hit that first, Lie?
Nope, go for it.
For me,
now, Marv, before you go, do you guys understand the question? Was I clear? You know,
yeah,
like this, because we talked about kids a little bit last week when we started talking about parenting.
Yeah.
And when you guys got into the topics of sending your kid here and sending your kid there, and then it just started bringing a lot into my head. Like, there's questions now. I got 4 grandkids. I hope they don't ask me some things because I wouldn't even know how to answer it, especially if they're looking at this politics on TV. Like the president was something that was totally respected when we were kids. Now this is a cartoon comedy show. But these are our leaders. There's no religion, and you can't even talk about it in school now because you may be disrespecting another religion. They're not teaching Black history. You really got to find it. You got to Google it, go to a library to get the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
They're out here killing our kids on TV. And I don't know if you notice, but when a Black person die, that's on every channel for every day. But when a white person die, you hear he was shot. They ain't showing it on TV.
Well,
so,
you know, to me, that's a whole other conversation too. Because
where do our kids find motivation, belief, and faith? Because the Bible is being destroyed by people's opinions and kids just not knowing, but they learning off TV and social media.
I think Nicole just gave a good response.
Yeah, that's why I was about to read it.
It starts at home.
Yeah, and I think to Wayne's point, which is one of the reasons that I was talking about some of the things that I was talking about last week. I think that is very important. Shout out to my man Warren. Shout out to my man Daniel Carr. Shout out to different ones because I believe that, like you say, File, what do we know? What do we teach them to have faith in? I think not only does it start at home, I don't think that it just needs to be centered around our household. I think we need to get back to more community as well. You know what I mean? Talking to that little shorty next door, talking to the little shorty down the street. You know what I mean? I always think about, like, you know, like I said, I growing up in church and you grew up in the same neighborhood that I did. You know, I always tell people I remember it was a different level of respect because I can remember when you seen certain church ladies walking down the street. Hey, yo, man. Hey, put that out, yo. Put that 40 up. Miss Biscuit coming through. Or Miss whoever. You know what I'm saying? It was a different level of respect because even though they were living their lives and they didn't believe in the same God that she was going to worship, it was instilled in them. You respect your elders. You help that old lady with her grocery bags. You help her get her bags to the car. You know, those different kind of things did. And I think it's not enough of us that know the way that's given back to these shorties. And we looking at them like, you know what? These knuckleheads, they ain't listening to what I got to say anyway. But it shouldn't change the narrative that we're still telling them whether they listening or not. It's
right.
up to,
no, it was a comment made last week. And I think I made the comment where I said, I think our generation failed. I think our generation failed as parents.
Yeah.
Because right around that time, as we became adults, is where all of this welfare and child support and kicking the father out the house and women equality and all of this, it was just, there's so many fathers out here don't know what their kids doing. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
My age.
Yep.
My age. Now, our parents before us, you know, they went through their drug phase, they went through whatever, but our parents before us did everything that you just said, Marv. They instilled respect and discipline in us.
And that's what we got to get back to.
Now that our generation came up with, you can't hit your kids and all this other nonsense. We failed these kids, man. Those are our kids out there shooting each other and robbing everybody. They're my kids.
And I agree with that to a certain extent, but I also, like I said, I believe that when you know better, you do better. We may be failing up to this point, but we don't have to continue to fail. You know what I'm saying? We could do better ourselves by, you know what? I'm gonna make it my business to go to the park this weekend, this Saturday morning, and just go talk to see if there's a shorty out there that he needs some guidance or somebody to talk to. Let him know ain't no stranger danger here. I just want to make sure. I want to see where your head at. I want to see what.
It depends on your environment where you live.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
in my area, and where I live, we friendly like that. I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's depending on where you live, and these kids you talking to, you better not say nothing to them.
Drew said, "What you mean by putting faith in?"
Like, period. Like, what are these kids supposed to have? Okay, we grew up on fear.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up on fear that we was gonna get destroyed if we didn't do what we were supposed to do. So you take that away because the generation behind us is you can't hit them. Give them a voice. That's why all these kids is talking back to their parents and I don't want to do that and all that other nonsense, you know. But what are these kids supposed to have faith in? Because there's not a lot of now. Although most of the people that I thought were strong mentors when I came out ended up being nothing. Like, you know, Jesse Jackson, I thought was strong. Bill Cosby, I thought was strong. You know, Al Sharpton. And then as we got older, we realized they was just as crooked, you know, or just as dishonest as the next guy. But what mentors are these kids right now looking at? T.I., Jay-Z, Tyler Perry? Like, so they have faith in what?
Mm-hmm.
Like the life expectancy keeps lowering every year.
That part.
So these kids is just like, I'm living my best life. Go to the clubs with guns and knives on them. We had them in the car, but we didn't go to the club with them. Like, so they go out thinking, I may not even come home tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, like, what? For our age bracket, I want to say that for our age bracket, we raised our kids. Well, most people we raised our kids the way we were raised, right? And so what I've seen with my own kids, yes, they had to go to church with me. You know, yes, no, you can't go spend the night over somebody's house. It was certain things that they could not do.
Give me 1 second, y'all. I got to grab my charger.
My eye opener was when my kids were grown, able to do what they want to do. And it's like, now, you know, they see the love and hip hop, they see the BBLs, they see all this stuff on social media and the money that people make hustling or whatever. So I do feel as though that some of our kids that we raised right, but now that they're adults, they want everything like that overnight. They don't want to wait.
Yeah.
They don't want to wait. So now it's like we looking at grandkids. And I was like, Lord, I feel sorry for the grandkids. Now we raised our kids right. But now that everything is so different that these kids are adults and then they're having kids, these are kids we really need to worry about and pray for. It's grandkids that's coming up because that's all they're going to see. That's all they're going to see is, you know, all this foolishness, all this killing and, you know, destruction. Neighborhoods are going down, like, you know, Wayne said. So it's sad. So I do feel as though it has to start at home. Like whatever they can't get in school or can't get, you know, like we got to give it to them.
And I think that's where we have to take more responsibility on as individuals. We can't rely on them to get it from school or to get it from their teachers. We have to be one of the best things that I ever did, which I totally didn't want to do, was coach Pop Warner football. I had no desire to coach. I'm like, man, I ain't got time to be dealing with these kids. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to put my hands on one of these kids here and all this. But when I did, I was to this day, I'm so overwhelmed. I had one of my former players reach out to me last week. Hey, Coach Marv, yo, I'm coaching now. Won't you come to one of my games to see how I'm out here with my kids? I'm doing the same things that you taught me how to do. Now, these are the same little knuckleheads. I didn't think they was paying attention to me. I didn't know that they respected me or that they was viewing it. But one thing that I learned when I was preaching was people don't care what you know until they know that you care. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a lot what we got to do in our communities. Get back to that. Mr. Johnson, we know, hey, y'all need to be on that corner. We, you know, all that did. And he knew he wasn't trying to hear him, but it didn't stop him from telling us.
But that was a different time, Marv. I mean, you can't discipline these kids like that now. You know?
But it put it like this. To me, it's like this, right? When you is a difference between demanding respect and commanding respect. When
Right.
these kids see me showing up at the community center, and I have no little child out here, but I'm out here just giving back. You know what I mean? They're gonna say, you know what? This dude ain't really gotta be out here, man. Hold up, let's hear what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? Or some of them might not, but it does not change it's not gonna change my effort in trying to do better for this next generation.
No, I totally agree. But now you kind of changing it to where the role we play in it. And I totally understand that. I mean, how you carry yourself is how people look at you. I have conversations with people on the regular where I've had employees say to me, "Oh, Mr. Wayne, you don't understand how it is out here. It's rough out here. These streets, you don't understand." And I'm looking at them like, so you think I was born 50 years old?
Yeah, right.
Even though we're in Virginia, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Like, I wasn't always with a button-up shirt and a tie on at work. Like, what are you talking about? You know, but I carry myself different now. Life is different. I got grandkids. I got to live a different type of way. But I'm going to go back to the same thing. I agree with everything y'all said about it starts in the household, and we should be able to control those that's in that type of structure or that environment. But the majority of these kids ain't in them environments.
Yeah.
For every 2 kids that's in the house, it's 5 kids that's outside. Probably don't even know how they eating that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And those are the ones that decisions is being made on the lives of us all based off them.
Yeah. But
and what they out there doing. You see, when we protest, what do we do when we protest? Is it organized? Do we have some structure on what we're doing? Or are we running into black businesses, stealing and snatching stuff, getting the cars and everything? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that's out there, so-called supposed to be our future and should be making a difference. And those are the ones on social media and the ones that the news and all are portraying. What are they supposed to have faith in? How do we get to them and how do we change? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about my granddaughter was just in here. My grandson was just over there. My son was just over there making some shrimp. Like, okay, my household, we okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not those not the families that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what Tank doing with his kids, Marv. I'm not talking about what Noelle did with hers. You see what we doing? We on here having a very educational, mature conversation at 9:18. It's a lot of people not doing what we doing right now.
Yeah. And like I said, I just think that to answer your question, what do we teach them to have faith in? I believe to a certain degree, us that know better, not that we are perfect anything, but you teach them to have faith in not just us, but the example that I leave. You know what I mean? One thing I used to try to tell people as far as ministry went was like, listen, don't follow me. You know what I mean? Follow Christ. And anytime you see me stepping, I need you to jump ship. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about the way we display our life. I hope she don't mind me sharing it, but one of the most touching things ever in my life was Noelle one time asking me, say, listen,
you gotta watch what you say, Marv.
No.
That's a different Noelle. That's not 19. That's not the 1995 Noelle right there. That's 2024 Noelle.
It ain't that like that.
Go ahead.
She asked me, she told me, she said, listen, when I go, I don't know if she still feels the same way, but when I go, I want you to be the one that eulogizes me. I want you to do my funeral. And I'm like, wow, that's like crazy that somebody would even consider me for something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But I know that has nothing to do with us going to high school together or us just knowing each other. I've shown her something, you know what I mean, that made her say, feel confident enough to say, you know what, I can ask him of this. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I respect that. She must have saw something in you. I've never seen it, so I would never say nothing like that.
You go to a lot of funerals and the whoever's preaching and all that type of stuff, they don't even know the person. They making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no.
So that was a perfect fit to get somebody that's been touched and that know you personally. Mm-hmm. It would be a hell of a eulogy if I could say it that way. But yeah. I understand. I understand why you said it, but I'm not asking Mar to do mine because I can tell you now he gonna get up there and talk about some stuff that don't nobody in it even know about. He gonna get all emotional, start crying, start talking about I remember the time when, and don't nobody even, So he can't do mine.
Wow, yeah, we'll tell a business like that. Fi. You already know that. We keep where they at.
But
memories. But hold up, Drew made a good comment. Drew said, it all starts at home, like Nicole said. The parents have to get their heads right because most parents have become the kids, and the kids are the parents for different reasons. We have to continue to teach what we have been taught from our parents that was correct. Not only our kids, but others. And we have to be living what we teaching. It's due many of us saying this and that and doing the opposite. Some of these kids want a way out, but it's being presented to them very, very slow. And I think that's a good point, Drew. Like Drew pretty much was saying was what I was saying. Because like to your point, Fi, you were saying like, yeah, this is us. But like I said, even going back to coaching, I remember like having players that I knew, in my opinion, their parents ain't diddly. You know what I mean? You had the parents like naming from The Wire. I knew mothers that was making their child at 13, 14 years old go out there and sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the household that you're in, it makes it kind of hard for you to hear what Coach Marv is saying. Listen, you don't need to be doing that. When mom is the one that got you out here on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these kids, to me, I think it's fear, in a way, like, and I'm not even going to say the kids, even with adults, a lot of adults don't want change. They don't want to try. I've had conversations with people like, why don't you just pick up and just move? And they look at me like I'm completely crazy. Like, what? Like you don't even, there's green grass out here. There's blue water in this world. Like all you want to see is South Orange Avenue and 18th Avenue. Like, come on, And I'm going to use Jewel for an example. Me and Jewel used to be together every single day from breakfast to dinner for years. And we made solid oaths to each other, like this our block, this what we doing. We ain't never, And now look, we both doing something totally different. We both raising our families, taking care of our families, but there was a risk in there. You had to take a chance, and then you had to have faith that it would work. And a lot of people just have fear, like they don't want to take a risk because there's failure in risk. And they just scared. I'm gonna stay doing this. If I never be successful, then okay. If I never get my own house, it's okay. And that's just bad.
Yeah. And we got to get past that. Like my man Pink used to teach me, shout out to Pinky out there in Arkansas. He used to tell me, listen, bro. He said, listen, Jersey, you can't make a shot that you never take.
Right.
And that's what we got to get out of that mindset. I think Drew made a good point with this comment too. He said too many people not sharing their past. So these kids can't relate. No matter what belief you hold on to, too many people worrying about how good they look to others. You want to make a change, reach out and talk to these youngins. And that's what I've been saying all along, Drew, especially us church folks. I believe that when it comes to the church, I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's too many people that's in these pulpits that are not talking about what God delivered them from, where they came from.
Trying to get paid. That's what a lot of people do.
Yep.
Like, and the bottom line is, that's one reason I do what I do. Well, I try to be as transparent as I could possibly be without naming names or talk about my experiences and where God has brought me from, because I need someone else to know that's going through the same thing. You know what? If God could do it for Marv, God could do it for me too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't just be so reluctant to share our past and thank God that, and I really feel like that's where so many believers are. We thank God we ain't nothing like we used to be, but we don't want nobody to know, like I used to tell them, like you were talking about back in the day. So I remember the older women, and what we used to call the mothers in the church. They would come in, hey, now come here, sweetie. Don't be wearing no pants like that, did you know what I mean? Look, mama was a hoe back in her day too. you know what I'm saying? And I believe that once we get to sharing some of these past stories that we've been through, it's not to shame us or make us feel bad, but it's to let you know and give them hope. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was a drug dealer. Yeah, I was an alcoholic. Yeah, I was this here. I was promiscuous. But you don't have to be that way. Right. And the reason I'm telling you is this, because even though that was my reality, I so regret it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to be a corner boy too, but I'm telling you not to do this because if I could go back in time, I would not do that again. I want you to learn from my mistakes. So that's why I got to.
These kids ain't listening to that. The generation behind my kids, I'm gonna say, you know, the age between, I'm gonna say 20 and probably 35, they got to see it for themselves. It's like talking to the wall with some of these kids.
Yeah.
You could tell them what I've done, what I've been through, where I failed. Don't do this. Put that money up. What bad? They're gonna do what they want to do. But when it don't work out that way, then they humble themselves and come back and say, "Yeah, you were right." But they have to see it for themselves. And I think we went through that too. You know, because when I was a teenager, y'all listen to the OJs. I'm listening to Run DMC. Y'all listen to Patti LaBelle. We listening to Mary J. Blige. It's different. Y'all don't understand. You know what I mean? But the basis of life is the same.
And I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, for me as an individual, what I'm saying is, even if I feel like, I know that they're not going to listen, that's not going to change my conversation or my approach.
Can't. It can't. I mean? Then you're not doing your job. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. I'm not going to let them deter me from doing what I feel like, because I feel like they lost hope.
Oh no, I get you, Aggie. You worrisome. I don't care.
Call me Mr. Aggie. Exactly. Just call me Mr. Aggie.
That's what I get. Yeah, I get you, Aggie. You worrisome, whatever. But I see them grandkids, and it make me smile. So I don't really care what they talking about.
That's it. I did something right. I ain't do everything right, but I did something right.
So now I look at my son. My son has a day job. He owns 2 businesses, and then he works part-time.
Awesome.
So I say to him, first of all, you're doing too much. But at some point, your body gonna tell you you're doing too much.
Exactly.
But I see how he running behind his daughter and his son and making sure his girl got what she got. And I sit back and I say, all right, I did something right.
Amen.
Because you ain't get that off social media. You got that from your parents.
Even though we was, like I said, we went all over the place, but to your point, a lot of times people be like, you know, this is one thing that I learned personally, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. It was like in a lot of relationships that I had previously, I was incapable of loving my significant other or other people, even if you're not talking about outside of relationships, because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know what that meant. So if I don't know how to love myself properly, how can I display love to you properly? You know what I mean? And to that point, it's like so many times when we remove ourselves from our own situation and say, you know what, I got to figure this out. Once we're able to have that real conversation with ourselves, you know what? I say it all the time. Yeah, I love myself, but do I really? Or am I just saying that? Because
I blame social media now because, you know, there's so many people out here that's living a fake book life.
And see, to me, I don't.
Now, you portraying something. You saying you on this trip. You showing meals you ain't have. You showing cars you don't own. You're lost, and there's no way that you're happy if you're just portraying to be something 24 hours a day. Because at some point, you're looking in that mirror, and it's just you in that mirror.
No, but on the flip side of that coin is some of these people that's really doing that, but they're not happy. They don't feel love or have love because just doing everything looking for outward validation and approval. Which makes no sense to me whatsoever. You know what I mean? I don't posted this picture 5 hours ago. I only got 6 reactions. I only got why do you care so much?
Right. And that's crazy because I'm looking at the ones who's in this conversation, for example, you know, and I'm not going to point out particular things, but Marv, when we were coming up, slacks, Kango hat, Wallaby shoes, that wasn't the normal, but I'm only saying that to say he did not care, right? Jewel wore the same outfit for 4 years. Some army pants and a t-shirt, but had more money than everybody else. You know why? Because he ain't care. I used to wear shoes or boots with a sneaker. People used to be like, "Why would it? And I never cared what nobody had to say, you know. But those are the individuals who make it, because I'm not doing stuff just for the Joneses or just to be down with somebody else. But you got to see and I'm gonna keep trying to bring it back to the original comment about these kids, these gangs, in this social media where everybody just following each other, the ice bucket challenge and climbing crates, and they lost. Mm-hmm. They truly lost. They don't have faith in anything and no respect for themselves to be doing all of this foolishness.
Yeah,
I'm scared for them, honestly.
Yeah,
I do. But I think
we all look at this stuff. Where they getting this stuff from, man? They on here. The guys are more feminine than the girls, and the girls are more manly than the men.
Yeah,
like that's 2024.
It's like Drew said. Though, you know, I think a lot of that comes from we don't reverse the roles a lot of times. The parents are the new kids, and the kids are the parents. And I try to tell. And one thing I told both of my sons are grown men now. But one of the things I always told them, I always want us to be cool. I'm gonna always love you, and I ain't gonna never change. Y'all see how I end my show every week, right? That's not for hype. That's because I mean it. You know what I mean? I don't say what I mean. I don't say what I don't mean. But my point is, I always told them, I said, listen, God put me on this planet for one thing alone, and that's to be your father. Now, I want us to be friends, but even if we're not friends, I'm gonna always be daddy. And you're not gonna always agree with what daddy, the choices that daddy make for you, but I'm your father first before I'm your friend.
Right. There's a line. There's a line. I totally agree with you. We talk about, me and my son, we talk about stuff, but then there becomes a line where the conversation and the tone of the conversation changes.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm still your dad, I'm still your parent. You know, we can have a friendly conversation, you know, whether we talking about sports or we talking about life or whatever, but then there's a line, and sometimes either I or him may cross that line. You know, I'm getting a little bit too into his business, or he just said something to me, I didn't like how you said that. You know what I mean? It depends. But I'm agreeing that we have to be involved in their lives, and we got to stay stagnant to our principles and what we're trying to instill in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we've been doing a lot of talking about
in all of this stuff.
What would you say some of the suggestions for these girls, Noel?
I didn't hear you. Went out.
I was saying a lot of times what we be doing is we've been talking a lot about the young men and what we need to do for them. What do you feel like that need to approach as far as teaching them what to believe and what to have faith in? What would be your conversation to the young ladies out there?
See, and that's what I'm saying. What do you even say, especially with all the stuff we just threw out there? You know what I find crazy, and I'm waiting for you to because I think you touched on it in one of your podcasts, how religion or Christianity, I'm not going to say religion, plays or is looked at when it comes to the same sex and these people becoming a different sex, and you're like because there's some rules to some of that.
Yeah.
You know, and these people, oh well, you could in the Bible say, the Bible don't say that's okay. Don't you say that? Not from what I read. I mean, I'm not you, Marv, but I don't see a part in there that say it's okay for you to be having a pocketbook and say it's a man's bag. No. And that's a totally different conversation, because that's what this world is right now. You can't even say nothing negative about that without being outcasted on like social media or a commentator or something that say something about same sex or gays or faggot, whatever. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. But when we came up, you couldn't come around like that.
Yeah. And I think that's what we got to do is, like, instead of us conforming to the times, we have to stay true to who we are. You know, one of the things that I do with this podcast is like, listen, and I've actually had shows that we posted live like this here. I go on YouTube to go check it out to make sure everything sounded right in the pictures. They done took it down because they didn't like what we were talking about. You see what I'm saying? Because certain words that we might have used in the past or different things of that nature there. But guess what? You're not going to stop my conversation. You're not going to stop me from expressing myself or how I feel or what I think, because the masses don't want to hear that. I'm never going to be politically correct. I'm never, because I don't subscribe to that, because that wouldn't be authentically me. And I don't want nobody to love a fake version of me and not a fake version of me, but hate the real me, or vice versa, me feeling the same way about myself. I can't do that. Either you take me as I am, or you don't have to take me at all.
Right.
And I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm gonna be okay with that. I know everybody don't like Marv, but I'm cool with that. It doesn't bother me not one bit.
It's life, but you're not going to adapt to other people just to be liked, and I think that's what separates you from other people. You know, I've always told my son when he was coming up, don't be entertaining other people to make, no, you be you. And when you be you, watch how they flock to you.
Julian said, at the end of the day, it's all about the renewing of mind. We all went through things to get where we are today. You know how many people talk to us. I can see the maturity of everyone up. And it all came from the renewing of the mind. It comes down to how will we reach them. But now,
how
to
will we
answer your
reach them?
question about the young ladies, it's like
live your best life.
Loving yourself. They're not satisfied. Everybody want to be skinny with a big butt. The thighs don't match. You know,
But
so
Noel, and I'm sorry, Noel, I don't mean to cut you off, but you just said something like they gotta love themselves, right? But if your eyebrows fake, your hair fake, you got on all this makeup, you got fake breasts, fake boobs, you got this tummy tuck thing on, so your fupa don't. You ain't yourself.
So
and that's true. And that's why I said before, all you can do, honestly, is raise your children the best that you can possibly raise them. And then when they get to the point of they're taking on the reins for themselves, then you got to pray for them. And honestly, I've said this a lot. Now I understand when my grandmother said, y'all kids belong to God. All we could do is pray for you.
Yeah.
I understand that, because I look at my daughter. She's so talented. She do nails, this, that, and the third. But every time I see her, she got the stomach out, something out, something out. So I'm just like, I can't change it. You raise your kids to the best to your ability. So that's just like, if one of our kids was on Facebook and they standing on the corner and they robbing and doing whatever, I'm not embarrassed. Yeah. Because my real friends and the people that really know me know I raised my kids right. And whatever those kids choose to do, I'm not embarrassed.
Oh no, they taking it down. No.
Gotta pray for them. Pray for them. No. That's it. You gotta pray that they realize things.
He taking it down. No.
Watch it comes down, yo.
It's coming down. It's coming down.
I mean,
I'm friends with him, and his friends. So don't block me, because I get to see everything. Yeah. But I've coached basketball. I've coached my son's basketball team, AAU, built relationships with his friends, and Mr. Steele, you know what I mean? So they respect me just like I respect them. Now, some of them doing things they ain't got no business. I see it. I don't comment because that's not my place, But when you're in my circle or you're in my environment, or if it comes anything to do with mine, nah. Not if I can help it. Now, I can't control everything. I'm not saying that. My son is going to do what my son want to do at the end of the day. But I'm going to speak my mind. And if it take me whatever I got to do to try to convince him, depending on what the situation is, that's what I'm going to
do. Yep. I speak my mind, and me and her might not talk for a few weeks or whatever it is. But at the end of the day,
she still know mommy love her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
she still.
That's right.
And then when she gets sick, who's she calling?
Uh-huh.
That's right. I mean, you got a lot of parents out here saying when they get a certain age, you got to let them be and let them live. Good luck with that. You know, everybody has their own whatever. You know, I've said that too. I said, you know what? December 1st, you on your own. And what was I doing December 2nd? Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Because I mean, everybody's different. Every relationship is different. Every family is different. You raise your kids however you want to raise your kids. He's going to be my son as long as I'm able to speak them words.
Absolutely. And
if I can help him, I don't care what the situation is, I'm going to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just is what it is.
That's the worst thing.
And if some of this stuff they saying on TV gonna come to surface, we're gonna be right there next to each other, picking them off.
Yeah.
Julian typing tonight. Nah, because the church looking at numbers. Most the members, I ain't reading this.
Yeah. Most of the members are fruity. They don't want to offend them because they giving big money. We still got to tell them the murder, the liars, whoever. We got to talk about it all. That goes for all beliefs. See, one belief is key, and that's like threefold there, Drew. I agree with it 100%. Again, which is why I always specify just me. I don't represent no church. I don't represent the body of Christ. I don't represent the kingdom. I'm a member of it, but I only speak for Marvin, right? I'm gonna always preach against what I believe is wrong, right? I'm gonna preach what I believe that the Bible says. I'm gonna preach how I think that you should go about things. I'm gonna preach that, the word, not my opinions. And I think that's a lot of times where a lot of these preachers get it messed up too. They're preaching their perspectives as opposed to the Bible and the Word of God.
But the way it's written is subject to your opinion of what the meaning.
All right, so that's why I was getting to follow up is because he said that goes for all beliefs, meaning all faiths, whether you're talking about Islam, whether you're talking about Christianity, whatever. And I believe that that's a big part of the conversation and a part of a mature conversation that people really need to have. Is just because I always say this in my private conversations. I try to get people to know when we talk about anything seriously, about serious topics or whatever, on a personal level, is everything that's said in this conversation is going to be interpreted based off of what you believe. Now, having said that, just because you believe a thing does not mean that it's necessarily true. So we have to be open-minded enough to know that they're like, I can't tell you about Jesus Christ. He died for your sins. They hung him on the cross and all that bit. If that's not what you believe, I could tell you that all day long, but it's not going to resonate the same if that's not what you believe. You see what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's not going to change me from sharing my message. So just because you believe a thing does not necessarily mean that it's true. How many people feel some type of way about their parent based off a lie that the other parent told them, or another family member might have told them, or whatever case, or your father was this, or your mother was that. You know what I mean? Your grandfather, he was out there. He had I don't know how many families, whatever. Granddad ain't had no other families. He just ain't want to be with grandma no more. He moved down the street and got a house. But you believed it, that lie, or whatever the case may be, and that formed your reality. But just because you believe that thing don't mean that it's necessarily true. So I think that's a lot of times we got to take that into consideration too, as opposed to, because I always try to tell people, most things in life is not a right or wrong situation. And I think that's where we get in trouble at. Nah, you wrong for that. Oh, nah, he more right, far right for saying that. Nah, it's not about right or wrong, because we all have different perspectives. We all have different point of views based off of what it is that we believe. So I believe that, even to go back to Five's question, I think that's a question that we need to ask them and have a conversation with them about too, as far as the youth. What is it that you believe in? Do you believe everything that you see on Facebook? Do you believe that there is a God? Do you believe in politics? You know what I mean? And then we can have a further conversation based off of what they believe, because I can show you why you might not want to put so much faith in the politics. You know what I mean? I can show you why you might not want to put so much faith into social media. You see what I'm saying? And give them a different. Now, I don't mean that's going to change their point of view. It's like Lot earlier. Don't mean that's going to change the point of view. Now I'm going to give you. I'm going to present to you a different way to look at it.
No, I understand what you're saying and what Jules saying. I mean, you're right, but it still brings us back to the same question. And what are these kids supposed to do? What do they believe in? Where do they find their faith? The world is a bad place right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tasha said, what do you believe? That's the question. Absolutely. And I'm always hang my head on that as a Christian, as a believer, because I have friends that are Muslim. Don't mean I love them any less.
Right.
Yeah, my best friend Leonard Salahuddin. Shout out to my brother. That's my brother. That ain't just a friend. That's my brother. We known each other over 35 years. I think we've only had maybe one conversation about religion, but that's my brother. So you don't have to believe like I believe for you to still be, you know what I mean, for me to still love you. You know what I mean? But we respect. And I think that word of respect is overlooked far too much. Because even somebody, I was having that conversation with somebody before, and they was asking me, I'm a little bit different, right? I literally respect everybody from day one. I automatically respect somebody. Now you can lose my respect, but you don't have to earn my respect. What you have to earn is my trust.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I want the average man in the grocery store. I don't want him just to cut in front of me. That's a sign of respect. You know what I mean? You ain't got to know me. You ain't got to have no conversation. So I'm gonna give everybody respect. Now you can lose my respect, but you got to earn my trust. And I think so many times people look at it the opposite way. Now you got to earn my respect. Now I shouldn't have to earn your respect. You should respect everyone. Now they can lose your respect. You know what I mean? But you should earn their. You know what I mean? Respect should be given automatically. Now you could, like I said, you could lose it, but initially I'm gonna give you that respect.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but this is a good conversation. I always love when we get together and have these different conversations. Like I said, we're gonna get you back on so we can talk some sports coming up and all that there. But like I said, I just really want people to get back to that there. And I think you made a good question and a good point. One, keep on loving, keep on caring. If you don't care or you don't feel like you know how to display love like we were talking about earlier, try to figure it out, because everybody's not going to be a coach. Everybody's not going to be in a pulpit. Everybody's not going to be a teacher. But it doesn't mean that you can't give back to this what we feel like is this lost generation. You know what I mean? We can't just continue to watch them die. You know what I mean? You're not going to have somebody in your household that you really care for. I won't even go as far as say love, that you really care for, right? You're not going to watch them waste away on the couch. Eventually, you're going to take them to the hospital or to see if you could get better care for them, things of that nature there. So what we got to do is we got to stop. We got to have that same approach and that same mentality when it comes to these youth. And I know it's a hard thing to do. Like you said, they got their own way of thinking. And I don't even know where this sense of that I hated about this generation is this sense of entitlement. I just turned 16. Where are my car keys at?
Yeah, you better say it.
Like, where did this sense of entitlement come from?
Social media.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
I had to tell my daughter, listen, you come from Noel and Anthony and not T.I. and Tiny. Okay.
I was grown and married before I had my first vehicle. You know what I mean? I growing up in Newark, we catching the public bus at 11, 12 years old. We wasn't waiting.
We was proud to get on that 31.
What is Jules saying?
Wayne Freeze blasted me a Cooper suspended overnight.
Oh no! Tell them Coopers ain't even there no more.
Nah,
we had Coopers the other day. We was up.
Yeah, they moved.
Yeah, they got Coopers in Linden now, but
now they got one in Orange. On Orange Avenue.
What we were getting on South Orange Avenue is no more available.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
he just
No,
moved.
no,
He
you
moved
missing
over
what I'm saying. I'm not saying the sandwich, the
there.
idea of the sandwich,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
way they were making them sandwiches for us back in the 90s.
Right.
Where you could go in there and get one sandwich and me and Whirl or me and Jewel could split it. They don't make the sandwiches like that no more.
Listen, I used to tell people all the time. I'll never forget it, bro. I got 2 younger siblings. My moms would go to Cooper, spend $7.95 on a sandwich, and we would stop by the grocery store and get a loaf of bread, and all of
Right.
us eat off of that
I'm
one
gonna
stuff.
tell you what that guy used to do when we went in there. He would be slicing meat, and then he would look at us and ask us, "Was that enough?"
Yeah,
Life is not even about that now. Now they're giving you 3 slices of this and 2 slices of that, no matter what you want. But what Jewel is talking about, that is no longer available anymore. Nothing the way it was. Valesburg don't even look like it did. It looks like a zombies in a ghost town now. You know, when you used to go to Hooterville, it felt like you was in a different part of Newark. You know, Ivy Hill, Vales, that was all different. It was brighter. It was cleaner. Now, Prince Street and Spruce Street look better than Valesburg.
Yeah, think about that. Think about how crazy that sounds, though.
Yeah.
Like they got new houses, and now all y'all houses is abandoned.
Yeah.
And then they
And
raising the rent. So
we
it's just
grew up with trees, all the trees cut down, ain't no tree in sight.
right. Gone.
I tell people all the time, growing up in Essex County, growing up in Newark, like I'm like, why in the world are we called the Garden State? The only grass we got is at the parks and stuff. Like, why do they call us the Garden State? We don't.
Well, you start going down South Jersey, you're gonna see a lot more green. You go South Jersey.
Yeah,
South Jersey is still Jersey. You're gonna see a lot of green down there.
And that's my point. You know what I mean? Once you get outside of Essex County, you start, we got cows in Jersey. Oh,
right. And that's the bad part about it. Because if you look at Newark, and now you look at all the cities surrounding it, Kearney don't look like that. No. Hillside don't look like that. South Orange don't look like that. You know what I mean? The Ironbound section don't look like that. But why does Newark? It's bad. Irvington is not. That's Newark. Irvington ain't nothing but Newark. That's just where they put all the West Indians and the Haitians over there. But that's Newark.
I think the Weequahic section changed too. It's not.
It's not the same.
Nah, yeah. I remember Weequahic was the part that when you feel like you made it, you went to Weequahic.
If you was close to Hillside, you was right there. You know?
Yeah.
All trash now.
I moved to Weequahic.
All trash.
And I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And I could be wrong. And the things might have changed. But I'm like, Newark is literally the only city that I could think of where there's not a good part of town. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
What would you consider the good part, the good section of Newark?
Well, where I moved from, I stayed over there by, it's the last place that I had before I moved. We had a condo over there, Manchester in South Newark, like going towards North Newark. I mean, it was so secluded. When I had the cookout before I moved, everybody had to ask me where you live at. Like they didn't even know where it was.
Yeah, because you gotta give me a landmark. I'm
about to say, what are you talking like Weequahic Park section?
No. I'm going North Newark. I'm going over by Branch on the other side of Branchbrook Park.
Okay, cross Bloomfield Avenue.
Yeah, that's Newark too. That's Newark too. You know, it's more Spanish over in that area.
There you go.
Closer to like it's like Forest Hill section or something.
Forest Hill. Where's Forest Hill?
Like on the other side of Branchbrook Park, they have like really big houses, like really nice big brick houses.
Yes, over there. That's Newark too.
For high schools, like the Barrington area.
Yeah,
you can come off 21.
It's nice over there.
Yeah, it's nice over there. So there are some parts of Newark where, I mean, you get lucky and, make a left, make a right. You know what I mean? And you're okay. But you make another left and another right and you're in trouble. Okay. You know? But it's just bad. I mean, going back to it's just terrible looking right now, man. The last time I came, we kind of slow rolled down Bergen Street, coming past lines. You know, remember, it used to be Food Town down there. Used to be stores all along Bergen Street. it looked like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty done came through there or something, man. It just looked bad.
Yeah,
It looked bad.
Me too,
And
Natasha.
if you waking up
for 3 days
in
and I
that,
couldn't wait to get home last night.
you wake up in that and you in that for 30, 40 years, you got to just think your mentality whatever is a lot of people never seen blue water.
yeah.
You know, a lot of people never woke up in the morning and all they hear is birds chirping or a duck or a chicken or an animal walking past them. Life is different once you get out of certain environments, and a lot of people they don't know it's another side. You know, they think that's just it.
And I
I
think
just think it's sad.
our conversation earlier too. That's one thing I did through ministry was like, yo, I made it my business to teach some of these young kids that listen, you do not have to become a product of your environment. There's a whole nother world out there. You could go into the military. You could go to you can move to California. You can move do down in South America. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not a fan of going to the military. Not the way they making decisions out here now. I wouldn't be fighting a war for these people just to get rich.
I'm not saying that that's an option. I'm just saying that you have options. You don't have to.
But you do have option. There's an option. There are career paths in there, you know. But it's just, but we got to figure out what do we do to help these kids, and I hope they find a way because it's just bad right now.
Yeah, me too, Natasha.
I'm gonna stop talking about my city like that. I went home the end of July. I stayed up there for a whole week this time. I really was not. I was okay because usually I'm the same way. Like after 3 or 4 days, it's time to get back on that road. This time I was actually kind of cool, but I was glad I got up out of there before them storms hit.
Yeah,
they got flooded up there bad. Yeah,
real bad. Newark, Patterson, certain parts of Bloomfield. I seen it all over the different news stations, and it was just so bad, man. So I'm glad a lot of people made it out of that and everything.
Well, I'm actually gonna be down there by you on Saturday. I got to go to Riley.
Okay, what's going on?
So,
that ain't none of your business.
Fu niece got married and they're having a reception in Riley.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going down there for that.
Well, y'all make sure y'all hook up.
Yeah, I'm about to tell him, yo, let me know if you got time or not. If not, either way, we got to make that happen though. Because
well, I'm telling you now. So when I get to moving Friday, Saturday, I'll let you know what's going on. You know, we're gonna be down there for the weekend, so we should be able to see each other.
Yeah, we all down south, Nicole. We in we're 5 in Virginia. I'm in North Carolina, and Noel, you were in Georgia, right?
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All is not lost, big bro. It looks bad, but it's going to be okay. Yeah, absolutely. I believe it too, man. We got to keep on believing. You know, like I said earlier, we might not, what we believe might not be true, but it's not going to stop me from believing that things are going to change. You know, things got to get better. You know what I mean? It's almost like the songs you say back in the day. You know, think about it. Like the way the state of the world is now, like I said, you know, everybody depending on social media and all that there. I can't imagine what could be worse than this. we got to do better. I'm even scared of the possibility of things being worse. You know what I mean? Hey, what's good?
TJ,
you know, but yeah, man,
Lawrenceville.
You know, I think it's really important for, like you say, for us to give back, be those positive role models in any kind of way that we get it back. Hey, as you said, you coming up here for food. Rest in peace. His niece. You know what I mean? Like you're coming down here for her reception. You know what I mean? That's a display of love. You know what I mean? I always talk about it. I always talk about this. And before we get out of here, my man Rodney Wilson. I remember coming down there for his and his kids always knew who I was or heard the different stories. Uncle Marv, this here and that there. And they like, And even when I would go down there and visit and see him, you know how it is. They being respectful. Hey, how you doing? But I was always daddy's friend. So one of the trips that I went down there was for his senior night in football. And I pulled up on him, and he was like, "What you doing down here?" I said, "I can't. It's senior night, ain't it? I came to see your last game." Ever since that weekend, what up with Uncle Marv, man? I wasn't daddy friend no more. I was Uncle Marv after that because he showed like, you know what? Nah, he ain't coming down here for that. He came all the way down here to support me and just check me out. So Little things like that there. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to be mindful of. You know what I mean? Because there's always a way that we can give back. The coach said, handmade is tough. Yeah, man. And we joking about it. But a lot of times, you know, I've been looking at and I've been doing my own research. And I said it on previous shows before, I would really encourage everybody to really get out there and because I don't do politics at all, right? But I would really get out there. I would really encourage people to really research and study up on what this Project 2025 is. Because it's very important that even if it don't get implemented, that we know what they're trying to put into motion. And I keep trying to tell people, stop saying Trump's plan, because Project 2025, that's the name of it, but it was actually started in 1970 if you do your homework. So it's not about Trump. This is an initiative that they've been trying to put into play. So it has nothing at all to do with Trump. It's that whole party that's trying to put this into play. So whether it's Trump, no matter who it is, if they wanted to go into play, it's going to go into play. And it's going to be very dangerous when you're talking about defunding all the police, giving them rights to do whatever they want to do. When you're talking about removing the board of education from school systems, in a system where they already teaching our kids, not actually teaching them, but they teaching them how to pass a test. I got problems with that. You know what I mean? So I really tell people to, you know, really look into that, all that there. I was seeing this one post, and they were talking about how everybody's talking about now how it's your right to choose what you do with your body as far as the abortion and all that there. And it's like the same party that said that is your choice, is your choice, is your choice. Where was that conversation at when it came to taking the vaccine? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, nah, let's talk about it. They don't want us. They don't want us to have that kind of dialogue. But no, we're going to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to silence me. And I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? To the point that we were talking about 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Trump, he's running for president with 36 charges out here. But yeah, no, I gotta fill out a checkbox on my application, my job application.
Yeah, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
And it doesn't. It doesn't. So,
come on, we got to finish up. I gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work in an hour.
All of them together, more exactly. So yeah, man, it's like let's be mindful, let's be aware, let's educate ourselves on how to do better for not just ourselves and our families, but our community as around. And I think that's a big part of the whole answer your question, Fi. In closing, you know, I feel like we got to get back more into that community involvement. There's a lot of too many people that I think that are selfishly thinking it's about me and mine. As long as my household is taken care of. And, you know, not like, no, I remember those days where you knew that lady right there was working 2 or 3 jobs and those kids were in the house by themselves. Hey, boy, come on over here. Get you something to eat. You know what I mean? Now, you ain't going to eat no cereal all day. Come over here and get a plate of food. We got plenty. You know what I mean? We got to get back to that more community involvement and not just worried about ourselves alone, singularly.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody
easier
need to take
said than
that
done.
initiative Akbar Cook took. Like, I'm proud to say I went to West Side.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of West Side.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
West Side.
Absolutely.
West Side.
Yeah.
What?
Forget West Side.
He just mad because he didn't have the pleasure of going there. Like he
I was in there every day, so they might as well give me a diploma
listen,
too.
I'm about to say, well, where I know him from?
Yeah.
West Side.
That wasn't my high school, but I was in there every day. They should have gave me a diploma. That's not where I graduated from. I never was registered at West Side. It's just that's where everybody was at. So hey, I
thought you went to West Side.
No.
Yes, Nicole. Yes.
And believe me, Noel, you ain't the only one.
I promise you. It's like, yeah, I
There's
know
many
way
people
from
that
West Side.
I went to West Side.
Lord.
Didn't go there. But I was there.
Yeah, you was there. People now worried about having more than them. Yep, too much competition. And I always say, some people could be the sweetest, most beautiful people in the world if they would be themselves and stop trying to be in competition.
Yeah.
Everybody could be a check away from being homeless, and people worrying about, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because what Marvin's saying about us coming together and being a community, people got to be more open and be more accepting of people's opinions, because for you to approach someone to talk about what their child is doing or that you think they need your assistance, the first thing out of people's minds now is you need to mind your business and who you talk. So I hear y'all, but that's not how our people move. We're not like that. You see some of these other races, it'd be 10, 15 of them living in one house.
Yeah.
Everybody save their money, move out, go start their own businesses. We can't even spend together for the weekend. Somebody be arguing about who ate my noodles or who drunk some of my juice.
I wrote my name on it and everything.
You're right. So to think now, like how many times have y'all seen people saying, "You don't say nothing to my child. That's my child. You need to mind your business." And you never heard that when we was coming up.
Nope.
I remember begging. I remember pleading with somebody not to tell. You don't whoop me and pop me. Please don't take me home and tell, because I'm gonna get another one. They didn't have to worry about, did they have to get into it with my parents? But now you say something to one of these kids, the kid could be cussing you out, disrespecting, scratch your car, bust your window, whatever. And the parent be like, well, you come tell me, you don't say nothing to my kid. And if you, wow.
Yeah, all right.
Wow.
It's going to be two arguments that day, because
so now look at what you just did, because your kid saw that. Your kid heard that. Now he's not worried about nobody else telling on him.
Yep.
He's not worried about you going to his parents and saying nothing, because all they gotta do is twist the story up a little bit and have your parents out there looking like a fool trying to fight because you said something to their kid. That's okay, and that's why where we at right now.
I should say families say, not they. Families say that now. You can't correct my niece and nephew. And guess what? You're absolutely right. If that's the way that it is, and you establish that, you keep my niece and my little cousin over there at your house. Don't ask me to babysit or nothing else. But until you make that known or you make that stance, I'm gonna do what I do. If you got a problem with it,
when we came up, Gary, me, couple other fathers, Big G, we had our kids, right? They go into the park, they riding their little motorcycles, they doing whatever. And if one had to work or if somebody had to go pick up Miss Lane or whatever it was, the kids was with the other one. And they already know. You do wrong, you gonna get it. It don't matter who you with. But it's not like that now.
Yeah.
And I've always been like what Marv just said. If you leave them over here, and then you tell me I can't say something to them or I can't hit them when they do wrong, don't bring them over here.
Yeah, they don't need to be here. Period.
we tighten up over here. So don't bring them up. Don't bring them over here. You know,
you got spanked in school. I ain't getting no spankings in school.
Listen, I went to St. Leo's. I didn't get spanked, but I remember them having a paddle in a paddle.
Yeah, they had those at Marcus Garvey too. I remember Miss Jones used to hit us with the ruler.
The big old yardsticks.
Yeah, they had those in Marcus Garvey, you know.
I didn't know they actually did that in public school, but we went to private school.
Yeah, that's why you act the way you act. But yeah, they had that, but it's not. And you may have some teachers that's out there now that still try to discipline in that way. But I see more videos of kids punching teachers in the face than I see of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, are the teachers wrong? No. You just got a teacher. You got the 4-year-old brought a gun to school and shot the teacher.
Yeah, I think it was 6. It was like
6 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So the rest of them teachers, like, I'm not saying nothing to these kids. I'm not yelling at these kids. I'm just trying to get my check and go home. And you can't be mad at them.
Yeah.
It's just bad. But going back to everything y'all said, it starts at home. That 6-year-old kid got that gun from home.
Yeah.
He ain't go buy it. He got it from home.
Jesus, I went to the shooting range. Some guns is heavy. Like, how?
You look it up. Look it up, Noel. It happened right here. It happened right here in Virginia last year. Look it up. 6-year-old shot the teacher. It right in the stomach.
Oh my God.
And the principal ended up getting charged for endangering the welfare of others because it was a report of something going on with this kid and she didn't react.
Marvin, write these topics down because that's a whole nother.
Yeah. Come on, Marv. Close this out. Close this out, Marv.
Right. Pray us out.
Todd talking about we gonna link. Y'all need to link up because she down there where you at. Y'all need to link up and go to the range. Nah, I ain't with all that women with guns and all that. Nah.
Okay, Natasha, I'm down for that.
But yeah, man. Hey, Tasha, matter of fact, as soon as we wrap up, give me a call, yo. I got a story to tell you. I'm not going to say, I refuse to say it on air, but I got a story to tell you about that.
Who is about?
Everybody, something that you talk about in the comments.
Ain't nobody talking about you, Noel.
Taking out the time to watch us tonight and be a part of the conversation as usual. Always a pleasure. Always good to see you, Noel. Always good to chop it up with you, Big Five. Y'all already know I love both of you guys, man. Forever and always.
Number love.
I got a guest coming on next week. We're going to be talking about parents losing a child. You know what I mean? Which is a very difficult topic sometimes, especially when you're dealing with suicide. And different things of that nature. But we're going to have a real good conversation with my guest next week. So I expect all you guys to be here. We're not going to do a first of the month freestyle. We're going to actually talk about that there, especially with all the kids going back to school and so many people actually knowing what this deal with. Shout out to you, Jew. I know you lost one of your children, your son, and different ones that just lost their parent. So I want to have that conversation so we could actually goes about ways of helping each other cope, helping each other deal with, and helping each other heal on such a serious issue. You know what I mean? But know that I love you all. Thank you all for taking out the time. And as usual, in signing off, DeAndre and LyAshia, know that Daddy loves you intentionally, but I also love you unconditionally. So next week, peace.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.